Hey everyone, welcome back to Women in Wild Places. It's your host, Gabriella. A few months ago, I came across a video of women with pregnant bellies dancing, riding mountain bikes, running, standing on mountaintops. There was a lot of glitter, smiling, and badassery involved, which immediately captured my attention. This led me to discover the Mothership Collective, a community for moms who move, play, and live wild. As someone who has always centered their life around the outdoors, I wondered what it would look like to continue to do so once having a family. The Mothership Collective provides exactly the kind of network for anyone who's wondered the same. Soon to be moms, new moms, cosmic aunties, the Mothership Collective provides support, events, and camaraderie with like minded people. I had the chance to connect with the Mothership's founder, Julie Bacon. Julie is an adventurer, mom, and connector. I love speaking with her and learning more about how her pre mom, outdoor minded self continued to expand through her journey through pregnancy and motherhood. In this episode, we talk about the societal expectations placed upon pregnant women, how to build community and friendships, the benefits of staying weird and raising legends, and how being an outdoors person helps prepare you for certain aspects of motherhood. I absolutely love this one. Let's get right into it. Here's Julie.
We're currently in the middle of the country. We had our truck breakdown on day 1 of our road trip in Vegas.
No.
It's been it's been a bit of an adventure. I've honestly been trying to just not go into labor with the stress of it all.
You're pregnant right now?
I am. 31 weeks pregnant and
Wow.
trying to remain calm through the chaos.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
This
Thank
will be
you.
a really good story to tell your child in the future of your while you were pregnant and
Oh, for sure. I was like, "Oh, this poor baby has so much cortisol running through his bloodstream. How is he gonna turn out?"
I think he's gonna do great.
He'll be great. Very resilient.
And is this your second child?
It is.
Nice.
Yep,
Okay.
I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, Ray.
Oh, Ray. I have a
Yeah.
15-month-old Merlin. Yeah.
Merlin, I love that name.
He's a magical little guy.
You're entering what has been my favorite era of motherhood so far. The year and a half to 2.5 has just been total joy for us.
People have been saying it's so fun, and it is him being able to communicate with us more and how he's funny and he makes jokes with us, and it's really
Yes.
fun. Yeah.
The other day, our daughter was like, Bodhi is my son's name. She was like, "He's peeing and pooping in your belly, and he's laughing about it." I was like, "Are you trying to get him
Yeah.
in trouble already?"
The sibling relationship to come.
Yeah, we were cracking up.
That's so cute. I know, I'm, like, excited to hear the things that Merlin is thinking because we're not quite there yet.
So much going on in those little brains. It's amazing.
I know. I'm so excited to talk to you more about motherhood and how it spurred you to create the Mothership Collective. Would you mind introducing yourself to the audience and telling us a little bit more about your background and why you started the Mothership Collective?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Julie Bacon. I am a New Englander at heart. I have lived in Asheville, North Carolina, Truckee, California. And as we mentioned, I'm actually on a cross country road trip to move back to the East Coast after 9 years. Beyond that, I'm a lover of all things outdoors. And the Mothership Collective really came to be because when I got pregnant with my first child, I was really seeking this support system and resource from other women who were these feral, glittery outdoor loving girls who were becoming moms and wondering how they were stepping into that space and how they were continuing their love of adventure. And for me, the mothership is really meant to be this resource of support and community for women.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a mother myself, and being someone who definitely had initially some reservations, also curiosities of what it would look like to have this huge life change, and wondering if I would still be able to maintain my sort of lifestyle and at least in some way keep following my interests and pursuits. It's really fun and inspiring to see that there are lots of us out there because sometimes it doesn't feel like that and it can feel a little daunting wondering how you can keep that magic alive as you transition into motherhood. So, we're going to talk more about that. Yeah, so you've kind of lived all over the place. What are your thoughts about community in different cultures from West Coast to East Coast? How does that influence you?
I would say my biggest takeaway from moving around so much is that people make a place.
Yeah.
And, I feel lucky to have lived in these amazing mountain town cultures. But for people that are looking for their community, I would say you have to go get it. I moved to
Mhm.
Asheville and I moved to Truckee not knowing anyone. And putting yourself out there can be scary and awkward and hard. But I can't recommend enough. My very first friends in Truckee, I went up to at a festival downtown and they seemed really cool. And I just asked for their numbers and they're now my best friends and how I built my entire friend group there. So I would say, obviously, Truckee and Asheville are amazing places. Same with New England and loved living there. But the people ultimately are everything. And if you're looking for community, yeah, go out and get it, is what I would say.
It's good advice, especially when you do become a mother and the landscape sort of changes in terms of how you spend your time. So it's a different type of community building that you need to do when you enter different life stages.
Totally, totally. And always such a shift too if you're the first one of your friend group to have a kid
Yeah.
and, how that adjustment goes.
Yeah, definitely. Who were you before you were a mom? What were some of your big adventures? I've read that you rode your bike from Mexico to Canada, which is freaking rad. So give me a little backstory about pre-mom Julie.
Pre-mom Julie looks pretty similar to who she is now, but I would say the adventures were pretty grand. I loved getting out there to explore the world and travel, whether it was a road trip in Iceland or riding the Great Divide mountain bike route. In my days, I just loved pushing my body and pushing what I knew about the outdoors in every way that I could. And I feel so lucky to have groups of just amazing women surrounding me. And so going on these big girls trips where we're biking together, hiking together, you name it, and just really bringing this fun, playful atmosphere to all our adventures, whether it was bringing pool floaties to an alpine lake or wearing glitter and dancing at the ski resort. I feel grateful that my 20s were really just like exploring and playing and dancing. And I luckily have been able to continue that as a mom as well.
Mm, that's awesome. The thread was always there and it's just
Yes.
continued to evolve. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, keep the
Nice.
dream alive.
That does bring me to something I wanted to talk to you about, which I know for me, at least when I was pregnant, and it was usually with people that I didn't know so well would say things to me like, "Are you sure you should be doing that?" For instance, my partner and I did a Via Ferrata that was very chill in Italy. I think I was 5 months pregnant. End of 4 months maybe. And some of the actually other women on the trip were like, "What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing this. This isn't healthy for you and the baby." And it was kind of a shock to me because I was reflecting on sort of my background, my risk tolerance, what I'm familiar with as a person. And I was looking at this thing that I was doing as actually very chill and easy and something I knew that was within my limits. But then it opened up this door to these concepts that people have or thoughts about what you should and shouldn't be doing when you're pregnant and putting those ideas onto you. So I definitely had some experiences like that. And I'm curious, did you experience anything like that? And what was your mindset like when you were entering pregnancy?
Yes, your story reminded me of I was reading recently, someone wrote, "Risk is not binary." And I think for so many people, they see black and white, especially with pregnant bodies, that there should be no risk involved. And oh my gosh, yeah, I've received so many comments when I was pregnant, whether I was at the gym and someone would come up to me and
Mhm.
say, "My daughter went into labor because she worked out too hard, be careful." Or, me hiding the fact that I was mountain biking till 5 days before I had my daughter. Like, there there were numerous counts of people chiming in and having opinions, but for me, I constantly was saying to myself this mantra of don't let anyone else's journey define your own.
Yeah.
And I really held tight to that because it was such a shifting thing for me when I was pregnant. Some days I felt like I don't want to go mountain biking today. Like I'm just going to do a Peloton or go for a walk or whatever it might be. And other days I was like, rah, rah, let's go on a 20-mile ride. Let's
Mhm.
rip. And so it was so fluid for me. And it felt really important to just listen to my own inner guide. As much as I tried to find resources on the internet, it's extremely hard to
Yeah.
find writing and support for pregnant women doing things that are considered taboo in society and risky. So yeah, definitely a challenge for me and I know women everywhere.
Absolutely. Did that contribute at all to your creation of Mothership Collective? When did the idea spark? And at what point did you feel like you wanted to make it into a reality?
For me, it was totally when I would say I was like 4 months pregnant, coming out of the blur of the first trimester. I remember the day I stopped feeling nauseous. It was like 14 weeks. I decided to go on a bike packing trip with a friend on the California coast, and we did 10,000 feet of climbing. Just went so hard, and I came back just glowing from that trip and just feeling like, "My gosh, how cool is it that I'm growing a life inside of me? I'm still able to do these incredible activities that I love safely and feel so lit up."
Mhm.
And it felt like such a contrast to the shame and the guilt and the pressure put on me by random strangers and people in my life.
Anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, I just had this feeling inside, like, why does this not exist? This community where outdoor loving women can come and see that these things are not only possible, but we're supporting of it and we're here to cheer you on through all of it. And that kind of nagging feeling lasted for me for a couple years till 2025 when I finally decided to launch the mothership. But I just had this burning need inside me to be for women what I didn't feel like I had in pregnancy.
Yeah. And you are. And I love how strong your aura is because it can be hard to push against that pressure that's constantly placed on us as whether that's pregnant women, childbearing people. It's very difficult when you're constantly being fed a certain narrative. So to be able to create this community that's very protected and supportive, we need a lot more of that. And it's so fun to see the videos of everyone dancing and smiling and happy kids and pregnant bellies, people on bikes. And I know when I do those things, like you explained, coming back from the trip and feeling a glow, how good I feel. And think about how great that is for your baby and your kids to watch you enjoy yourself and to introduce them to these activities that we love. I know when I take my son out for hikes and he wants to touch all the trees and he's smiling and pointing at everything, that makes me so happy. And
Yes.
yeah, we need to be there for each other because there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now that's kind of stressful. We need to have our joy.
Yes, keep that joy. We always joke that we'll totally let our daughter choose whatever she wants to do activity-wise, as long as it's mountain biking, skiing,
Yeah,
and backpacking.
as long as it fits into general outdoor activities.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we say that something similar, but I think we're on a good track because he wants to be outside all the time, so I'm like, "Sweet, I think that we're starting off strong here." The whole feeling during pregnancy, especially a first pregnancy, can be especially scary because there's so much unknown. Any pregnancy, there's so much unknown. There's your health, the baby's health, societal pressures, work, just the mystery of what will become on the precipice of this enormous change. I definitely remember all those feelings of feeling a little isolated, I would say, even having had friends that had had children in the past who were so supportive. I think just going through it myself for the first time, I can ask people as much as I can, but nothing can truly prepare you until you go through it yourself. So, what surprised you about the journey of first becoming a mother, and what was that experience like for you?
I feel like you described, like, the loneliness to me was definitely shocking, and I think because everyone's experience is so unique, um, when I had my daughter, I had thrush for 2 months, which is,
Mm,
like, bacterial infection of the nipple, and it rocked my world because breastfeeding had been going so well, and it was something I'd never even heard about, and it ended up being pretty traumatic and a really tough couple of months as I transitioned into being a mom for the first time, and I think just so much about motherhood is shocking,
mhm.
and everything seems to be quote unquote "normal" when you're pregnant, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And as a new mom. And so I think just that, and for me, being in total awe of what moms just quietly carry, um, really rocked my world. Just after
Mhm.
going through it, knowing what birth was like in that 4th trimester and moving into this new role, my respect for women who have been through it just skyrocketed and continues to do so.
I am just perpetually in awe and shock and amazement.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're pregnant and there's so much happening, and I remember I was very anemic, like severely anemic, and I couldn't stop eating ice. I guess is a thing where if you're really iron deficient for whatever reason, you crave ice. I ended up needing iron infusions and getting the flu severely at the end of pregnancy, and I had the flu when I gave birth, and I
Oh
remember
my god.
having our newborn and just thinking, wow, that whole experience, it already was the most intense thing I had gone through physically. But you have to just kind of wipe your hands of it almost and say, okay, I can't even think about that because I have a little baby to take care of. So you don't even get to think about yourself at all. And what did I just go through?
Yeah.
And what am I currently going through?
Yes, I feel like even in preparing to have a second child, I'm now kind of reliving my first birth experience, and there's lots of that was not fully processed in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah, I bet. Do you feel like you're looking at pregnancy and motherhood differently now going into your second?
Yes, I feel like I am savoring it much more than I did with the first one. I will say this second pregnancy has been much more humbling. I, like, tore my abs on both sides a couple months ago, backcountry snowboarding. And, yeah, just much more humbling, but even through that, I feel like I'm taking the time to feel a little less resentful and a little more appreciative of the magic that is in this journey. Because I feel like for people who are so used to going hard outside, having some of that freedom and ability stripped away temporarily can feel extremely scary.
Yeah.
And I think in going through it once before, now I realize how temporary it is
Mhm.
and how short-lived, and to be like, "Okay, I need to really soak in these moments because this is such an incredible time in life, even when it's really hard."
Yeah. It is challenging when that's your primary outlet, of stress and also how you find joy. It kinda rocks your foundation when you can't do the things that you need to do. I mean, for me, I need to
Yeah.
go for a run. I need it for my mental health and for everything. I totally feel that looking back, sort of thinking, "Okay, everything is kind of a phase and you move through it, but when you're in it, it's so intense."
Yeah, and what I think is so great about being someone who appreciates outdoor adventure and has pushed themselves so hard is that you build this resiliency and this understanding of type 2 fun, and that in the moment you recognize it's hard and you're going through the shit, but you know you're gonna come out on the other side, and you're gonna look back and think, "Oh, that wasn't that bad," or, "Oh, that was actually amazing. What was I talking about?"
Yeah,
You know?
that's so true. Being an outdoorsy person, you have a much closer relationship with type 2 fun usually. And parenting is often type 1 and type 2 and type 3 all in the
Type
same
3.
moment.
Yeah. I was joking with a friend the other day, we were like, "Is there a type 4 fun that needs to exist where it's, like, both you're experiencing type 2, but with your child, and that multiplies it?"
I love that. It just
I think we
doubles.
need to add that in.
Yeah, I think we can make adjustments.
Yeah.
Tell me more about fun and how it plays into the mothership.
So we have several core pillars of what the mothership stands for. Our number one is that weird is welcome, and that can encapsulate so many different things. But for me, my like greatest joy with the mothership is that there's glitter at events, there's biking, there's dancing, there is a playfulness to the mothership that I think is so core to who we are as women. And we often forget that it's not only okay, but it's so amazing to incorporate that into your day to day. And as a small example, sometimes my daughter and I will wake up, we're both exhausted, and we'll just throw glitter on and make pancakes in the morning and have a dance party. And I think it's the best.
That's so
Drums and
sweet.
Lizzo. Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. She's
Partnering up.
learning the lyrics to Good as Hell. She
Oh
says
my
good as
god, I am so
um
excited.
But it's such an important piece of life, I think, to just remember that we shouldn't be taking ourselves too seriously. And if we can come together and bring that feeling, it just adds so much to our lives, even in the small micro moments.
And we're so used to as mothers facilitating play for our children, but sometimes we forget to actually take part in the play and
Yes,
remember we're kids at heart too, and we
totally.
all deserve play. That's how we learn and we connect, and we need it for our stress levels and our overall happiness. I'm trying
Mhm.
to do a better job at remembering that when I'm playing with my son. Like, I need to play with him. I wanna play too. I wanna laugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an awesome quote I read recently that was like, "Your kid's childhood is also your parenthood."
Mm,
And years can go by where you realize you've just been pouring, pouring, pouring into your kids, and what have you been giving back to yourself? Because I
yeah.
know, and I'm sure the same is for you, like, when you light yourself up, you come back as such an elevated parent.
Yes. I just actually went on my first trip, without my son, and I was really nervous about it beforehand, and I even had a couple moments of wondering if I should cancel the trip for no clear reason other than just anxiety about being away from him. And people ask me, "Are you scared he won't be okay?" And I was like, "No, it's not that. I know he's gonna be fine. Just the idea of not being there around him was it's kind of an unnatural feeling for us as mothers, right?
Yeah.
We just are like, I need to be close to my child. It's just an innate feeling. But once I got there and I dove into the experience and I really played, and it was reminding me I was, like, sleeping in the back of a Jeep and eating peanut butter out of a jar, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm still kid Gabby too." And it
Yeah,
felt really good to come back and think, "Oh, when he's older, he'll see pictures of mom going on a climbing trip." And I hope
totally.
that he that makes him happy too, just to see that, and
Where did you go on your trip?
I went to Moab area. Yeah, it was really fun. Some friends and I did a race, and then I did, some climbing in Indian Creek and, around Moab, and it was awesome. I was with a bunch of ladies, and some were moms, and I was like, "Look at us. We're still having fun, and we're doing it."
Doing it. And it's so good to be with those women who are like, it's okay to miss your kid and also be out here doing this amazing trip.
And 2 things can be true at one time.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember I took my first big trip away from Ray when she was 10 months old and I did a big trip. It was like a 10-day bikepacking trip in the San Juans. And I remember just bawling my eyes out on like
No.
day 5. There was no cell service to call. And then luckily I was with another mom, one of my good friends who also was on her first trip away from her baby. And we were able to just look at photos together, cry for a second, and then be like, okay, back to the trip. We're just having so much fun.
Yeah, and it's okay to miss your baby, and you should miss your baby, but it's also okay and it's good for you to do these things that fill you up.
Yes. Couldn't agree more.
Speaking of taking trips, I'm doing something this fall that I'm really excited about. I'm teaming up with KMAC Guides to lead a small group of women through Bears Ears National Monument in southern Utah. We'll explore canyons, sleep under skies, do daily yoga. If this sounds like something you've been waiting for, don't wait to sign up because spots are limited. You can find the link to sign up in the show notes or in my bio at Women in Wild Places on Instagram. Hope to see you there. All right, back to Julie. And I noticed when I was looking at the mothership events that there were a lot that you can bring your kiddos and then there's some adults only. And I think that's awesome that there's a mix of both because sometimes we need to socialize with adults.
Yeah, and sometimes you need that motivation to take a night for yourself. I mean, we love bringing our daughter everywhere and it's amazing and it's can be hard to take that space to go connect as an adult with other adults and it's feels pretty good to do that.
Absolutely. My friends and I joke about it, the ones that have toddlers, where we go to the park and we barely say 2 words to each other because we're just chasing our kids around.
100%.
How do you find that balance of, solo time, family time, relationship time? Do you have kind of a method to that?
We don't really have a cadence per se. I would say my husband and I both get out for a solo thing like 1 or 2 times a week. We do have full-time daycare, so we're usually able to sneak out either together or alone during the day. Um, and then we just love that time post daycare with our daughter. We can go on a micro adventure, whether it's an hour-long bike ride or a hike or meet up with some friends and take her somewhere. It's definitely always shifting, but I feel like we do a pretty good job at making sure each of us has that friend time. Relationship time, I find often goes to the bottom of the list when you're in the
Mhm.
trenches with a baby. But it's so important to, even if it's once a week, have an hour together or
Yeah.
whatever it is, do something fun or sit down and have coffee and ask how the other person is.
It is interesting how that one seems to be the hardest because it's either you're all together or people have to pop out to go do things, and
For
it's
sure.
amazing how you can live in the same household, and sometimes I say to my partner, "Oh, wow, I have so many things that I've been meaning to talk to you about, and we just actually can't even talk about it, or we haven't for a week." So, it's a good reminder.
We ended up scheduling, like sounds so adult. We scheduled a 1 hour a week life admin block where we can
Nice.
basically shove all of the things logistically we need to talk about for the week into an hour and not have them bubble up and could just
Great.
enjoy our conversations over dinner, etcetera.
It's a great idea instead of the only moments you have, you're trying to figure out things like paperwork or logistics, whatever it might be.
Yes, my friend has a running shared note on her phone with her partner, and on Sundays, they have a round table, and it's like, "Okay, who has what plans for the week? Like, what are the big things going on? Here's the life admin." I like that too.
Another great idea. All right, I'm learning lots. This is
Yeah.
great.
Write that
We've
down.
been fully winging it and hoping for the best.
Which is also great.
You mentioned that you go on bike rides with your daughter. How has it been watching her grow up in this kind of environment where adventure and joy and fun is the norm?
The best. The best. I always say that I feel like I smile 10x times a day having her in my life.
Mhm.
And she just brings so much lightness to situations, and she's been, backpacking and biking and all the things with us since she was really little, and it's so cool now that she's talking and walking and everything to just see this bravery and resiliency that she's built from doing hard things with us, going on hot trips in the winter and things like that. It brings so much of a spark to my life to see her enjoying the same things. And not only that, but getting things the kids ride shotgun where you can go mountain bike together, getting to share a passion so closely with her and doing things like having her dress up in a princess outfit and going
On your
down the
bike.
trail with me on the bike. It just it is so cool.
It's pretty much peak parenthood and peak life. I mean, what more could you want?
Yes. I couldn't agree more. The first time I took her out on a mountain bike ride, I was like, "This is it for me. I've hit the
Peak.
peak."
Yeah, yeah. And the cool thing is she probably doesn't even realize how special this is yet because it's her day to day. But when she's
Mhm.
older and she reflects on it, she will have a whole other appreciation too. Just like we were saying, like it's becoming mothers, the invisible things that I just never thought about that my mother did, my grandmother. And yeah, what an awesome example that you're setting for her.
Yeah, it makes me smile to think about, like, in 20 years, we'll be sitting around telling these stories together.
That's
Yeah.
so sweet. And going on more trips, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I need to see a video of her riding a bike in a tutu and also singing Lizzo.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Now I'm like,
I
"Oh,
get that too.
what Lizzo songs can I teach my son?"
All of them.
Raising legends, that's one of your pillars or main ideas. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. I so that tagline, I think it's really important because legend can mean a million things to
Mhm,
every parent. That is success of raising a legend is very dependent on who you are. But to me, raising a legend is really about bringing my daughter into our lives in a seamless way so that she gets to experience the humility that the mountains give you. And as we
mhm.
talked about, the resilience, the bravery, all of the things that are so core to me and my partner as humans. Passing that down to her through us keeping our weird is so, so fundamental to me as a parent. And that's how I feel like I know true success is just seeing this character building in her as we keep doing the things that light us up.
Mhm, yeah, and it seems like that is a really common theme that you're successfully creating with the mothership from everything I've seen and the events and the reception to it is giving that space to people and the confidence to be able to pursue it. Because I think before becoming a parent, we have ideas of what it might look like. But like we said, you just never know until you're in it. And
Yeah,
sometimes these things take a little more effort. Finding friends, building community, it's not a passive experience. You have to put yourself out there. Going on a camping trip with a toddler, there's more logistics, it's gonna take some time, there's gonna be some frustrations, but the benefit makes it all worth it.
totally. I'm laughing because I'm picturing we took our daughter when she was I think she was 8 months old on this backpacking trip, and the mosquitoes were some of the most horrific I've ever experienced in my life in the Eastern Sierra, and I remember I had her on my back and was, like, sprinting down this mountain 5 miles, trying to swat mosquitoes off of us. I have never run so fast through the woods, and we got to the car and we're like, "Was that good? Was that good for her? What are we doing here?"
I don't know anything different, seems okay to me.
Yeah, we're like, "She's fine, she's fine."
It is interesting because certain scenarios like that where you might be like, "I don't really care if I get many bug bites," but then you don't want your your child getting bit, so it changes the things that you're paying attention to on these kinds of adventures.
Totally, your primal side kicks in.
Yeah. Uh, I wanna learn more about what it's been like for you in terms of community building. Had you done anything like this before? How did it feel for you to start building this community, and what surprised you along the way?
So I had never built a community like this before. Definitely first time. I've been in the outdoor industry for 12 years now in the marketing world. So I have had quite a bit of experience in that realm, but it's been extremely cool because the mothership has evolved so much in the last 11 months. It started as really a hub to collect shared experience from women to be a resource. And then very quickly, within 6 months, it became so many women reaching out asking, I really want to find my people. How do I build this where I live? And so the community has moved from more of this resource hub, digital experience to a private Facebook group that now has thousands of women in it. We're hosting, over 130 events in May. Called Rally the Village, and that's a space for women to, host events and connect with each other in person. So it's shifting and growing and moving in all these incredible ways, and I think that's, to me, the fun and surprising part of the mothership is that it's becoming what the people want it to be. An example of that is in one community member really wanted a book club. Now there's an amazing woman, Monica, who's running this book club once a month, having the author come to Zoom chats. And so the evolution of it has been really cool. And I think I'm just excited to see what the next year brings and what the community wants to see.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun that there's so many opportunities and that people are creating their own hubs, and I saw that and I was thinking, "Man, that's so special." My struggle sometimes is living in the Catskill Mountains. It is an outdoor area, but it's not a mountain town that you might find on the West Coast or in Colorado, where there's tons of people doing the same thing, where it might be a little easier to find such a community. So I love that you're kind of opening it up so people can create it if it feels like it doesn't exist already.
Yeah, I want everyone to have a mothership collective where they are and to feel seen and supported by other women in their community. So hopefully we have more of these rallies where women everywhere can choose to host something because it's been really, really special. Even if there's people on a hike and it feels intimate and small, like that's what you want. That's where connection happens.
Yeah, that's how you meet people that you connect to and relate to. You actually get to speak with them, and it's how that's how you make friends. Can you give an example of a recent event that you were present at that you really enjoyed?
Well, I just hosted an event last week, so I can probably I can probably speak to that one. We just had a community cheese board on Lake Tahoe where everyone brought something to add to a charcuterie board, and there was music, and always I'm encouraging people to dress up in glitter and velvet and costumes and all the things. So there was that, but it was so cool. At one point, there were probably like 70 people there, and I looked around and saw moms exchanging numbers,
Mm.
which to me is just speaks so hard to my soul. People are connecting and making friends, and it was cool to see the magic happen in person when there's so much digital for the mothership as well. I just love seeing people meet up. Yeah, yeah, it's always special to have those events.
That must feel really good for you,
It's
knowing that
it's makes
you
me cry.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and to think of all the connections that you've helped facilitate without maybe even knowing it, that's really cool.
It really lights me up, and I love hearing from people. They'll write in and be like, "I just grabbed coffee with someone I met in the Facebook group, and we're gonna hang out again." And, it just makes me so happy.
Wow. It would be cool to zoom out and see kind of a time lapse of everyone meeting up and
Yes.
yeah. So cool. Uh, Tell me about the cosmic auntie.
Yes. Okay, so one of the core parts of our audience, I like to say, is the cosmic auntie, and to me, I felt like it was really important to honor this with the mothership because women gathering in general, I think, is so special, and female friendships, I think, are so important. But when I was pregnant, I was one of the first of our friend group, and that was really scary to
Mhm.
me, but I felt so supported by the women in my life. I'd be pregnant at a wedding, they're all, like, dancing around me in a circle, like, rubbing the belly, people sending ginger tea when they knew I was nauseous, and people coming over to hold my daughter when I was, like, really going through it. Um, And that support from the aunties in your life is, I just can't emphasize enough how important that role is in a child's life, in a mom's life. So I think it's really important for women everywhere to hug their cosmic aunties really tight because
Yeah.
they're so crucial.
It makes me emotional thinking about it.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
And giving that respect and gratitude to those women. It's hard to really put into words what that kind of support means.
Yeah, the random text from a friend saying, like, "You're doing a good job."
That makes me wanna cry right now. And people that might not want to have their own children, but their feeling of wanting to support friends that do and the joy that they get out of that and being part of your child's life, that means everything too. And there's so many different ways to be a mom. There's so many different ways to be a friend and a support and an individual. I think it's awesome that you take all of that into account and everyone is welcome.
Yeah, yeah, they belong here, and I'll have women reach out who are like, "I'm not a mom, I'm an auntie, and, like, hang out with my friend's kid all the time. Tell me more about going on this adventure." And I'm like, "Ugh, that's awesome. That makes me so
Yeah,
happy."
totally. That's
Yeah.
so cool. Well, now that you're moving, what does your life look like in the next few months, and what do you envision for this change to bring to the mothership?
Ugh, a lot going on in the next couple months. I'm due in July, so I'm definitely gonna go dark for a couple weeks in
Yeah, that's
July.
good. Sure.
Gonna put up a little ad office for the mothership. But there's a lot of fun stuff coming. I'm really excited about building an ambassador program.
Mm.
I think the rally and just the support in general for the mothership has blown me away. Like, we're almost at 50,000 followers on Instagram, and I think it's time to have a more solid presence in a lot of these mountain town communities. So that'll be a big thing coming up is the ambassador program. I hope to do another rally the village at some point this year because so many women wanted to host and didn't find out about it till later. And I think just bringing women together in a bigger way and more often is going to be important. But yeah, there's going to be a lot coming up. So in terms of in-person events and people representing the mothership all over the world, I think it's gonna grow and grow.
So awesome. How can people get involved?
So the best things to do are join the Facebook group. We have thousands of women in there right now. If you need advice, if you are looking to make a connection in a new city, or you just want to share a photo of you doing something epic, pregnant or with your child or whatever it might be, that's a great spot for that um, to get some support. And then beyond that, we're always looking for people to contribute to stories and the blog. So if you feel like you have, which I'm sure you do, a story to tell, know that it can feel really scary putting those out into the world. But I hear from pretty much everyone who writes, wow, that was so empowering. And I felt so loved and supported
Mm.
by sharing.
Yeah.
So I would really encourage that. And yeah, beyond that, you can support local art with our merch. You follow along on Instagram. Yeah, there's so many great ways to connect.
It's so exciting. I'm excited for everyone to see also just the happiness and the joy and the sparkles that emanate
Yeah.
from all of your media.
It's funny because I feel like our Instagram is so like rah rah powerful. And then I think it's important that the blog keeps us centered with the
The
realness
raw
of
exactly. Okay, final question is, what would you tell a woman who is, on the precipice of motherhood or debating motherhood, who wants to stay adventurous? What would you tell them?
I would say even when you become a mom, you are who you are at your core. I think it's so important to remember that there is a huge identity shift with becoming a mom, and there's no getting around that. That's a huge transition. But I think that the sparkle and the mentality and everything that you bring to your life currently can be brought to your life as a mom. And
Mhm.
it's important to not let society or your algorithm or whatever it might be don't let it dissuade you from that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We're still who we are, and also we're always becoming us even more. And motherhood is
Exactly.
an enhancement of ourselves is how I've been looking at it lately, is I feel like I've become more me, and I love it.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love that. Yeah, braver, louder, stronger. You feel more, I think an enhancement is the perfect word for that.
totally. Wow, well, thank you so much for taking the time while you're moving, you're pregnant, you have a little one. I can't thank you enough for taking this time. It's been so nice to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a good break to our road trip.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode with Julie. It was so special to get to speak with her and learn more about the Mothership Collective. I hope you get the chance to join their community and attend some events. I've linked everything in the show notes. Make sure to follow the Mothership Collective and Women in Wild Places on Instagram to stay up to date with everything. And if you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave a super quick rating wherever you're listening and share it with a friend. It really helps other people find the show. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you out there.